Our first night on the winter adventure ends with a place that I have wanted to see for quite a few years. As early as 2017, I vied this mall with some mild curiosity, and finally, in January of 2019, I'd get the chance to visit it proper. Welcome to one of the last 90s malls ever built. This is the Dulles Town Center. Dulles Town Center had a difficult conception well before it was constructed in the late 90s. Originally planned as the Windmill Regional Shopping Center, approval was sought out in 1987, but unseen red tape would push the mall's conception back. The mall was originally to be built and opened in 1993, but it wouldn't be until 1996 when we would even see construction of the mall. Finally, the mall would open with Hecht's and Lord & Taylor in November of 1998. Oh, there it goes. An official ribbon-cutting ceremony would be held in 1999 as the mall brought in JCPenney and Sears. The mall would then see a new expansion in 2002, which would bring forth Nordstrom, Hollister Company, Sharper Image, and Joseph A. Bank. The mall would become a hit with locals and travelers alike, attracting shoppers with an impressive anchor lineup and a large food court which brings forth a number of eateries for shoppers to choose from. The mall even boasts a few outparcel restaurants that help form the beginnings of an outdoor lifestyle center, which could very much help give the mall some staying power. If I could break away from the history for a moment, just take a look at this food court. It reminds me of a collaboration between Rouse and the Mills Corporation. And to top it off, some neon food icons that hint to the food stall below. While things are going well, the mall was hit with its first major curveball when it had lost Nordstrom in 2017. Nordstrom announced closure, the company having decided against renewing their lease in the mall. This, accompanied with the potential case of anchoritis this mall suffers from, leaves this mall with a challenge. As we tour the mall, we can speculate on how this mall could adapt to changing times. I'm not too sure how well this mall is going to be for you, but in my opinion, I thought it was a very neat looking place. Granted, I'm not too fond of the carpet, but still. This mall manages to pull off a distinctive look despite having some modern sensibilities about it. Just get a view of the corridor from the upper floor walkways. This mall manages to pull off a relatively modern look without coming off as bland and dull. And at night, this place is basked in a warm glow that manages to make this place look inviting. But naturally, this mall is not without its faults. Nordstrom, as seen ahead, is now gone, and with Sears being, well, Sears on this end of the mall, I predict this wing will die off pretty quick unless something's done to fill that void. Now, this is just an idea, and I doubt it'll be pulled off. But this mall could be a gateway for Boscovs to re-enter the South. They attempted before in the early 2000s, But the move nearly bankrupted the company as the executive at the time made some pretty poor decisions. But still, if Boscov's make the right moves, I could see a Boscov's working out for this mall. This part of the mall feels pretty desolate compared to the rest. Even Sears had a little bit of life in it compared to this. An anchor usually generates foot traffic for the mall interior, and when that anchor leaves, it won't be long before that part of the mall begins to dry up with the anchor. Then there's the matter of Sears, which is the late 90s template store. A design that I've personally enjoyed. Again, Sears is a pretty strange anomaly, and there's no telling what will happen now that they've managed to survive bankruptcy. Sorta. Again, that's going to be another problem management needs to solve should Sears kick the bucket at this mall. You can see, though, this mall is still holding up rather well. You still have 4 out of 5 anchors, along with several junior anchors like Dick's Sporting Goods, a huge gym, a furniture store, H&M, Old Navy. You even got a movie theater. This mall isn't dying, and while the closed Nordstrom is disconcerting, there is still a good chance to keep this mall on its feet. In addition, there are events still being held at this mall. I do believe in recent years there was a massive flash mob event where several synchronized dancers performed in the center court. I'll see if I can find that video and maybe I'll link it in the description. In addition, you have a number of activities to keep the kids occupied, like the carousel we saw in the food court, the train we're looking at now, the candy shop. All in all, a few things to keep Dad and the kids busy while Mom goes shopping inside this JCPenney. And while on the subject, that JCPenney does look very nice. JCPenney built some very attractive stores around the 90s and early 2000s. And I do hope they can get their act together and continue on. While we're walking towards Macy's and Lord & Taylor, I have noticed there isn't too much in the way of kiosks. Yeah, there are a few here and there, but overall it's not to the point where you can't even breathe without an aggressive sales guy trying to drag you towards their kiosk. And low-key, some of the kiosks that are present do spark my interest. I am a firm believer, though, that very few kiosks should ever be present in a mall space, and that businesses should be filling in vacant inline spaces throughout the mall. Sadly, it seems I'm one of the only people that thinks this way. Okay, this is my first time seeing a Lord & Taylor, but they were all over the place out here in the metropolitan region. I am curious, so let's go inside and get a look around, shall we? Hey look, it's the Attack of the Sweater Gang. All in all, this Lord & Taylor does look pleasant, although their biggest problem sits on the corporate side, which has been bought out by Walmart, of all companies. Not sure if Walmart wants a high-end brand to flaunt about, but there isn't much to stop them from selling the Lord & Taylor brand in their own big boxes. And they've already closed down a number of Lord & Taylor stores, including a flagship up in New York. So who knows when Lord & Taylor will sour up. See anything you like in this Lord & Taylor? Alright, this concludes our skim through of Lord & Taylor. What did you think of the store? And while asking questions, what do you think about this mall? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And finally, Hex, which obviously is now Macy's. Has a neat looking entrance at least. And if I recall, this Macy's does carry a section referred to as Backstage, which is their outlet concept. Okay, I'm getting pretty hungry, so let's get back to the food court and grab a bite to eat. And while we're doing that, I can give my overall verdict on this mall. It's not a bad mall by any means. Far from it. It looks very nice, and it boasts a large number of stores. In addition, the food court is still bustling and packed full of eateries to choose from. If you want it, there's a good chance the food court has it. But I'm a pretty simple guy, so guess what I'm gonna have for dinner? But one problem still stands. Management needs to fill in that vacant Nordstrom space. The longer that space sits, the harder it will be to fill it, and honestly, it could lead to this mall going south on us. I couldn't get enough of this mall either. I kept stopping to get a look up high, down low, this way, that way. This mall was just huge, and it went on and on forever. Just get a look at the center court, from the two elevators that overlook it, and to this massive star skylight that encloses it. And before we go, we'll get a bite to eat. Regarding what I'm having for dinner, if you guessed Sbarro's, then you'd be correct. I'm a simple guy who likes pizza. What else can I say? I do hope you guys enjoyed this place as much as I have. Do like and share the video. And do share your own thoughts about this place down below. If you didn't like this video, then do tell me what you didn't like, and I'll see what I can do to address it in the future. I do feel I have a neat formula going, but there is always room to tweak and tamper. As for what you can expect in the future, I promise you that next week we'll finally be in the Baltimore region. We'll be meeting up with some people. Trust me, you're gonna love them. If you want to keep the discussion going about the Dulles Town Center, then come join us on the Dead Mall's Discord server, organized by Sal of the Expedition Log series. New members only need to answer a couple questions with the admins, and they'll be set up to chat. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Check below for a link. Until next time, this is Doomie Grunt, wishing you and the Dulles Town Center farewell and good luck.